Hello everyone, welcome to our production and operations management class. In this class, we are going to discuss about various layout design procedures. So any organization, especially the manufacturing organization, manufacturing company, it has to deal with many manufacturing units. Every manufacturing unit deals with many different kind of machineries. The machineries or various departments in any manufacturing unit are to be arranged in a way which reduces the overall cost of production. For that, the organization has to consider the best procedure to design the layout of the plant. So there are various layout decision procedures which can be followed in order to plan various departments in a manufacturing unit. As you know, there are many different, not many actually, there are different types of layouts like product layout, process layout, and group technology layout. So, whatever the type of layout, it is important to consider the best arrangement of various machineries according to the requirement of the manufacturing plant. So, today we will be discussing what are the different layout procedures are there, and also we will be discussing about one type of layout design procedures in this class. So what are the types of layouts are there, and we are also going to discuss about one of the types of layout design procedures. So what are the different types of layouts are there in the production operations management? Can be classified into majorly two types. The layout design procedures are majorly of two types. They are manual method and one more is computerized method. Manual method and computerized methods. So in the manual methods, there is one type of layout design process, that is systematic layout design procedure. The systematic layout procedure. So this is what we are going to discuss in this class. And apart from this, there are different types of layout design procedures also, like they are called as computerized methods. They are called as computerized methods because there is only one manual method, that is called as systematic layout design procedure. So apart from that, there are few computerized methods. Again, the computerized methods are also categorized or divided into two types. They are construction type algorithm, as well as one more type is improvement type algorithm. So the computerized methods are of two types. They are construction type algorithms and improvement type algorithms. So basically the layout design procedures are of two types, manual method and computerized method. Again, within manual method there is only one type, that is systematic layout design procedure, and within computerized methods there are two types. They are construction type algorithm and improvement type algorithm. So within the construction type algorithms there are automatic or automated layout design program, which can be called as ALDEP, and also one more is there that is computerized relationship layout planning, which can be called as CoreLab. So these are the two construction type algorithms, and there is also one improvement type algorithm which is called as computerized relative allocation of facilities technique, which can be called in shortcut as craft. So the computerized methods are ALDEP, core lab, and craft. The ALDEP and core lab are construction type algorithms, and the craft is improvement type algorithm. So once the layouts are designed according to the construction type algorithm are actually been improved by using this craft method, right? So there are how many types? Basically there are four types of layout design procedures. They are systematic layout design procedure and HALDEP, core lab, as well as craft. So in this class we will be discussing about what is this systematic layout design procedure. In our further classes I will also explain you very clearly about what are the computerized methods. Okay, in this class let us discuss about one manual method. Manually, if you want to design the layout, so how it has to be developed. Let us discuss about this manual method. So the manual method, the initial step in the layout design procedures is to give the input. First, give the input. What kind of input is required in order to develop this layout? The input like what are the number of departments and what are the various uh, space requirements of each department and what is the relationship among the various departments. All such information is to be given as input. So we that means actually the person who is going to develop the layout has to take all the information as input. So based on this data he is going to develop the layout, right? Further he is developing the, or he is getting the information, he is getting the data like what, how many departments are there in the manufacturing unit and what is the relationship among each department in the department and what is the space required for each department. So all such information is given as input in the first step, and based on this input what we are doing in the second step is we are developing one relationship diagram, or we are formulating one relationship diagram based on the data given as input. So for this relationship diagram, in order to draw this relationship diagram we need two types of data. However, I'll tell you like what is this relationship diagram and I will also show you. But before that, what I'm telling you is for developing this relationship diagram, we need two types of data. That is, what you can see here is flow of materials. One important data in order to develop this relationship diagram is flow of materials from one department to another department. For example, there are 5 or 4 departments involved in the manufacturing. So between these 4 departments, so what is the flow of materials between one department 1 to department 2, department 1 to department 3, department 1 to 4? Based on this, this is very important data. Based on this actually you can develop this relationship diagram. For example, there is department 1 and 4 are very much related because from 1 to 4 a lot of flow of materials is there. Every day tons of material is to be transported from department 1 to department 4. That means there is a lot of relationship between this 1 and 4. So probably these two departments are to be neighbors. That means these two departments are to be together. These two departments have to be side by side, because a lot of flow of materials is there between these two departments. So for that, you need to identify the flow of materials between all the various departments, and also activity relationships. you know Activities, what are the activities performed by each department? For example, there is a machinery which is used to heat up the materials or maybe the components, and then it has to shift to bending. Right? Various materials are to be first heated, and then only it can be bent. So for that, these are to be in the order of, first it has to be heating machinery, and then it has to be, bending machinery, and similarly, a welding machinery, and then, maybe painting machinery is to be required in the order. So such kind of activity relationships are also necessary in order to develop this relationship chart, a relationship diagram. So based on these two data, one is flow of materials and another one is activity relationships. So we are developing the relationship chart. I will show you like what is this relationship chart, relationship diagram also now. So see here, sorry, this is the relationship diagram, right? So here, this is an example problem, but however, you consider this table as the example of relationship diagram. Here, if you see, there are 7 departments in the manufacturing unit, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The numbers are given instead of names for the departments, and the relationship between 1 to 2 is E, and relationship between 1 to hope, I can draw here, yes, 1 to 3 is O, and the relationship between 1 to 4 is I, and the relationship between 5 to 1 is wo, right? So this is called as relationship diagram, where actually, if you observe here, the same things are reflects. Whatever is there on the upper right corner will be same as, you know down and left corner. So it reflects here whatever is there, right? EO, IO, UU, EO, IO, UU. So the same thing will be here, because the departments with 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, the same will be as, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, and 1 to 4. So this is called as relationship diagram. How we are developing this relationship diagram? Based on two things. One is the flow of materials between various departments, and another one is based on the activity relationships. Okay, so we have developed the relationship diagram. Then in the manual procedure, that means in the layout design, first kind of layout design procedures, the systematic layout procedure. So next, after developing this relationship diagram, we are developing the space relationship diagram. Space relationship diagram. For this also, we need two things. Two kinds of information is required in order to develop this relationship diagram also. They are sorry. So they are space requirements for each department, right? For department 1, how much space is required. For department 2, how much space is required. For department 3, how much space is required. Similarly, up to 7, as for the earlier example. And space availability, right? So the overall, if we, for example, let us consider like, see, for department 1, 20 square feet is required. For department 2, maybe 30 square feet is required. So similarly, for various departments, various space is required for each department. So overall, we also need like how much space is available in order to arrange all the machinery, right? That is also important, because if overall we need 1000 square feet are required in order to arrange all the machinery, but if there is only 950 square feet, then it is not possible. Technically, there will be the problem. So it is also required, it is also necessary to consider like how much space is available as well as how much space is required. So based on these two, we are developing the space relationship diagram. So after developing this space relationship diagram, that means see here, sixth step is finished in layout design procedure, manual layout design procedure, that is systematic layout design procedure, right? So in the fourth step we have considered the various space requirements for each department, and in the fifth step we have considered like how much space is available overall within the manufacturing plant, and based on these two things we have developed this space relationship diagram. So after developing this, we have developed the various layout alternatives. Right? One layout may not be the best layout. So what we are doing is we are developing many alternatives. So after developing, we will find out the best layout. But what we are doing initially is we are developing the various alternatives, right? So for developing these alternatives, how we are doing this is we are doing this by considering various modifications for the space relationship diagram that what we have done earlier, right? So once we have done various space relationship diagram, that may not be final thing. So we may consider like various considerations. Like for example, department 5 is to be adjacent to department 4, and sometimes you may be able to change this to the above also, and you may consider like department 5 and adjacent department will be like department 3, and that 4 you will take it to some other place, and department 3 will take it to the adjacent of department 5. That is one consideration, that how you can modify this space relationship diagram also. So if any such possibilities are there, like you have to consider all the modifications, and also you have to consider various practical limitations if any are there in order to consider the modifications. All the considerations whatever you feel like, department 1 is to be beside of department 2 may not be possible because of some technical limitations, like like as we have discussed, like active relationships, and maybe because of some kind of like a space availability requirements. So because of number of practical limitations it may not be possible. So if so, you have to ignore that consideration, that modification, and then the other modifications you have to consider, and you have to develop various alternatives. So as you know, like various alternatives are developed, what we have to do is you have to evaluate all the things. You have to evaluate all the things, all the alternatives, and whatever the best layout is to be selected. Whatever the best layout is to be selected. This procedure is called as the systematic layout procedure. So I hope this systematic layout design procedure is clear, and there are some other computerized methods which we will be discussing in our further classes. So whatever is discussed today in this class, if you have any doubts, please you may put as a comment so that I will respond to it. So thank you everyone.